Welcome to our Meet the Experts Casting Directors panel. We're joined by Julie Harkin from I May Destroy You in Industry, Victoria Thomas from the Mosquito Coast, Theo Park from Ted Lasso, and Michael Nicolo from Young Rock. Thank you all for being here. First, Julie, I want to know, what do you like most about being a casting director?
OMG, what a question. I like anything about being a casting director. It's really stressful. I'm joking. But I love everyone else in the call understands that statement. It's the people, it's the actors. I mean, it's not that a difficult question to answer, to be honest with you. It's just like getting to chemistry, people, instinct, soul, human beings, storytelling. I'm Irish. My culture is storytelling. So telling stories and bringing them to life is how I grew up. So that's the reason.
Victoria, what about you?
I think the creativity, the ability to really kind of affect what shows up on screen, and hopefully to make a movie or TV show better, and with our contribution. And it's fun to be in the room. It's fun to be in the room when we used to be in the room with actors, and just being in the room with them and reading and directing them and trying to get the best performance you can out of them, which is very exciting, very creative, and something I like. And I think it's kind of fun. There's a lot that I'm sure a lot of us we don't love, but that's kind of part of the job too. You just have to make your way through that to get to the good part.
Yeah, agreed.
Theo, what about you?
Yeah, it's kind of the same as Victoria. I love the collaboration. I love being part of a project, and just knowing that we're all gunning for the same end result. And what's exciting, I suppose, is that we start off the process. We're part of the beginning conception of a show or a film. It's really, really thrilling.
I'll agree with Victoria and Theo and Julie. Like, the creative process is just really cool to be a part of it, and I think it's really awesome just to be able to give people the opportunity and just like watch them. Sometimes the coolest thing to me is like sometimes you meet somebody like super early on in their career and maybe like a day player role, and then like just watching them take off and be successful and succeed, and it's a fun job. I mean, there's, as with anything, you can complain about stuff, but I feel fortunate to do something that I really enjoy.
And Kelly Valentine Hendry from Bridgerton is finally able to join us, figure out all the technical difficulties. But Kelly, what do you like most about being a casting director?
Oddly, it comes from the love of theatre more than anything else. And what I love about casting, especially in the UK, is that I genuinely feel that you're in a big family here. And we all go to the theatre and we all meet each other and you watch people's careers grow hours sitting in the darkness. And then you watch and enjoy your friends who are casting directors and see them in their shows. And you think, yes, and it genuinely is the perk. Well, I think it's the perk of being a casting director. And the hours that you spend watching all these young people and older people in the theatre, and then you see them and you see their careers take off, and then they would go to America and we can't get them back. And it's nice to be part of that progression.
What has it been like casting and auditioning actors during COVID, Julie?
Well, we haven't been doing that. Mm-hmm. It's all been by self-tape. But I've been working on a new Netflix show called Half Bad. And I have my first day of chemistry reads tomorrow in Soho, in town in London, in person, mixing and matching actors. And I literally didn't know how to prepare for it this evening. What am I going to bring to the audition? Oh, I need And I think it was March 2019 was the last time I saw an actor in person. So I haven't been auditioning during COVID. What COVID auditions have been like are self-tapes. My experience anyway. I'm very excited about tomorrow.
Oh,
Good luck. Very excited for you. Michael, what about you?
I mean, I do miss kind of being live in the room with actual people, but it's been a lot of self tapes. We were casting like early, like, you know, back in March on Zoom and stuff like that. I mean, the technology, there's always like the little glitches and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it has its like positives and its negatives, but the one thing that I found is just kind of like, because of self tapes, like the volume has been like, you can kind of get through a lot. So that's been like the one good thing, I think. But I don't know. I miss it. I miss kind of like being around people and just like getting the interaction. There's like something so weird about doing all this stuff over a computer. But it's been good and bad. I mean, you know, I can't wait to get back to whatever it's going to become.
It's same with the Zooms and, you know, self tapes, and I've actually done 3 or 4 in-person readings throughout the pandemic. You know, testing, everybody tests beforehand, and you know, go through all the COVID procedures, but mainly self tapes. And what I tried to do, just to kind of emulate what Michael was talking about, is try to have some Zoom auditions just with the actors. Just some people just say, hey, can you just read this with me? Instead of like doing a self tape, can you just read this with me? So I'll just go into the office and I'll audition over Zoom and direct over Zoom. And so that kind of, I think there'll be a little bit more of that. That'll probably start happening more. But I think, like Michael said, I think there was some positive out of this. I think you can see a lot more people and by looking at self tapes. So I think there's going to be sort of a hybrid approach for me in my casting in the future. But yeah, like you said as well. I mean, it's great to be in the room with the actors and actually, you know, help them out instead of them kind of guessing what somebody wants in a self tape. You know, I think I find myself reminding producers or directors that, you know, hey, they're putting themselves on tape in a vacuum, and they have a little bit of information, but not all the information, and don't just dismiss them because they didn't do that or they didn't do this. It's like, if you like somebody and they're close, if they're in the vicinity, let's give them another shot. Let's give them a direction, let them either self-tape or you see them in a Zoom call back and you reread them again. So it's been interesting, you know, just kind of living through the last year, over a year with the new auditioning scenarios.
And Theo, you were casting season 2 of Ted Lasso during COVID, right?
yeah, I just sort of thought of it. Yeah, casting has totally changed. Everything's changed. And I really miss being in a room with an actor, because that's, as Julie said quite rightly, it's the best part of the job is being with the actors in a room. But I mean, for example, on Ted Lasso this week, well, last night they wrote a scene for an episode we've already shot, and it needs to be edited by the end of this week. And so they wrote it last night. We had to cast it this morning. There had to be someone COVID testing this afternoon in order to film tomorrow. So this morning at 9 a.m, I was just like coming up with some ideas, and then we just phoned like 12 actors, and they put themselves on tape straight away at home on their phone, did it, boom. By lunchtime, we'd cast someone. And I don't think before that we would have done it so quickly, but now, because we're so used to this new way of everyone self-taping very quickly, and as Michael said, the volume is just, so that is a success story, I suppose, in COVID times. We cast someone very quickly.
You just speed up the process, though. Well, Kelly, you've been doing Bridgerton, right? So what's that been like?
I did do in person once for Bridgerton for the new reads, because obviously they do need chemistry. But Jonathan Bailey has chemistry coming out of him. So there was no concern that he wasn't going to have chemistry with whoever was put in front of him. So I did that. And that was weird. It was all COVID test in this the empty production office in the middle of nowhere. I'm looking forward. We've done a lot of children recently. And I think that's crazy. You need kids in the room because you cannot tell what they're like. You know, you've got mom is sitting there. And of course, when you're doing kids, we all know the first thing we need to do is parents need to leave the room so we can get out of them what they've been prepared, by their moms and dads. So looking forward, kids is impossible. And then also with the foreign casting, the international casting, I'm finding that when I've got someone in the room in London, I know that they are in London. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a lot of tapes at the moment where it's like, yeah, our base is in London. I'm like, that's not London. I see a little factory there, or a little, there's a car with a number plate in the background. No. So I'm looking for, I think it's a control thing, and I miss press. I miss that, half-hour chat after the session, where you dissect it rather than, I got to jump, I've got another Zoom, so it'd be good to get back.
And finally, what should and shouldn't an actor do when auditioning for you, Julie?
Oh my God. Don't get naked. I've had some self-tapes in recently with people with their tops off. Don't do that. What should and they shouldn't do? I don't know. It's just like be natural. I mean, it's such a. Do you mean like self-taping, or when they come and meet me in person?
Both.
I mean, listen. I'm a big champion of being yourself and being who you are, and not trying to be anybody else. And just going back to the last question, I just love meeting people and people's souls and energy. To be spiritual about it is such an important part of what we do, that connection. And I just think just relax and be yourself. And I don't know. I mean, that's all I need out of people when they come to meet me. And self-tape wise, I mean, just the framing and the lighting, and maybe not record yourself reading the other lines. That one. It's like they're talking. What? Get someone to read with you, which I know has not been easy during COVID because we're not meant to be interacting with each other. But I don't know, just I don't know. Maybe these guys will answer these questions.
My tips for actors: just come in prepared, but be prepared to pivot.
I mean, I agree. Be prepared and listen. Be willing to take in anything that's thrown at you. But also, just don't force anything. Especially with the comedy, and you kind of have to let the words do their job as well. And yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that's been said so far, but I think just bring yourself to it, make it your own, stand out from the 100 other actors that might be reading for the same role, or, that's what I have.
I would love it if they didn't get into their heads before they came in. So they didn't sit in the waiting room and look around and think, he's better than me, or I'm wrong. Look, they're all the same and I'm different. Then they get themselves worked up and come in and think that the casting director is already against them, when actually, simple. You do your job, you're good. I do my job, I move on. It's cast, so I just concentrate on you and yourself. Don't worry about everything else that's going on around you. Just come in and do what you need to do.
Yeah, all of that is. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? These poor actors. But I would also say just serve the material. Just imagine. So sometimes you've only got sides, which I know is difficult if you can't read a whole script. But try and get as much information about the project if you can't read the whole thing, and imagine how that would be as a finished product, and then serve it as best you can in the room or on the tape.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully some actors are watching this and taking notes. But thank you all for your time. It was great speaking with you. Congratulations on all your projects, and I very much hope you can all get back in the room very soon, like Julie tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see everyone.
Bye, everyone.